Hey, it's Elliot, and I just want to start off by saying it always amazes me when a book can make me laugh. You know, like a book, like one of these boring things over here. But there's like a one-of-a-kind type of laughter that only comes from books. It starts off deep in your brain, in your imagination, and courses through your body, and finally emotes through your mouth. Today, I want to share with you 4 books that I think are quite funny, simply from my perspective. So I think you might enjoy it too if you have the same type of humor as I do. If you're trying to write some funny books as well, maybe you'll pick up some nuances from them. Maybe. Anyways, let's get started. The first book I want to talk about today is one of my favorites, My Custom Van by Michael Ian Black. Actually, there's more to it. It's My Custom Van and 50 other mind-blowing essays that will blow your mind all over your face. Michael Ian Black is probably best known for being in his comedy trio Stella and being a member of the ensemble cast in Wet Hot American Summer, but not many people know him as a writer. He's actually written quite a few books since, and he's written some movies as well. When people talk about books that changed their life, they often talk about self-help books or emotionally impactful books, but this one, 50 essays that blow your mind all over your face, really did it for me as a young writer. It really inspired me to write in a lot of different ways. This book is a collection of absurd essays. Some of them have a thesis that only a celebrity like Michael Ian Black would know, such as what I would be thinking if I was Billy Joel driving to a party where I knew there was going to be a piano. Or one called, Hey David Sedaris, why don't you just go ahead and suck it? One of my favorite things about this book is how Michael Ian Black plays with different genres, such as letters, erotic fiction, and even a chapter sponsored by Barq's Root Beer. All of it is completely drenched in Michael Ian Black's snarky style of humor. He does a good job of just mocking the modern world, at least modern 2008, while still poking fun at himself. Comedy ensues. There you go. I hope that was a good enough hook to get you to pick up Michael Ian Black's My Custom Van. Alright, next book. A Load of Hooey by Bob Odenkirk. Yes, it is that Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Before he was Jimmy McGill and before he became Saul, he had a long history in comedy. People don't know that now. People don't know that. And it's good to see him gather all the little short stories he's written over the years and put it into a book. It's so great to see someone at the pinnacle of stardom write a book that isn't necessarily a memoir, but something their fans would really be able to sink their teeth into. It's not about his life, it's just a load of hooey. It's a collection of short stories, poetry, comics, and unabridged quotes from famous people such as Walt Disney, Isaac Newton, and Winston Churchill. The beauty of this book is Odenkirk's commentary on the lives of those who have achieved fame and those that strive for it. What it's like to be someone who's creating, aspiring, struggling, and those who are critiquing. Believe it or not, I think all of us falls into one of those categories, which is why I think this book is so approachable. By far the story that stood out to me the most is the reimagining of what it would be like that day when the Beatles wrote the iconic song Blackbirds. Odenkirk does such a good job making fun of the drama within the room between Paul McCartney, who has been said to have written the song all by himself, and the rest of the band, who leeches off his success. Please, if you have a few hours to kill at an airport, or if you have nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon, pick up this book instead of watching The Office again. Got it? Hey, speaking of The Office, the next book I want to recommend is One More Thing by B.J. Novak from The Office. It's actually called One More Thing, Stories and Other Stories. One More Thing is a collection of short stories that touches on many subjects, such as celebrity escapades, relationships, and the complicated yet mundane decisions that we have to make in day-to-day life. Novak, simply put, is such a witty storyteller. He does such a good job in this book of highlighting nuances of everyday lives and reminding us that we all have these idiosyncrasies that we're not even aware of. Well, unlike Michael Ian Black or Bob Odenkirk, who mind-blowing essays to blow your mind all over your face, or a load of hooey, B.J. Novak's writing is actually a little bit more refined. I could actually see these stories published in like The New Yorker or something. I don't know. It's not necessarily better or worse, it's just a different style. My favorite piece in the story, or at least the one that really stood out to me, is one called If I Had a Nickel, in which the narrator goes through his thought process trying to determine how long would it take for him to be rich if every time he spills coffee on himself, he gets a nickel. The thing I love about comedy books is that although B.J. Novak is pretty funny in The Office, you don't get to see his full range of humor like you would when you just see it all compacted inside a book, and that's why every comedian should write a book. There you go, said it, write a book. The last book I want to talk about today is Sick of the Head by Judd Apatow. I don't know why so few people know about this book. You know Judd Apatow, right? He's the guy who made 40-Year-Old Virgin, Freaks and Geeks, and Knocked Up, among other movies. He's kind of a comedic legend. But on top of all that, he is a comedy fan first, and it proves it in this book. Since his very early age, Judd Apatow had a crazy fascination with comedy and comedy royalty. One time he was traveling with his grandmother and they drove by Steve Martin's house and saw Steve Martin mowing his lawn or washing his car or doing something. Judd got out of the car to ask for his autograph. Steve Martin, of course, declined, saying that, hey, if I give you an autograph, I'll have to give everybody an autograph, which ultimately really upset the young Judd Apatow. So he went home and just poured his heart out into a letter, writing, I'm your #1 fan, I own all your CDs, why couldn't you just give me an autograph? In the end, Martin wrote back saying, hey kid, sorry, I didn't know that I was speaking with the Judd Apatow. I love that story because of how everything ended up turning out for Judd Apatow. Everything turned out great. And as he got older, you could tell because of this book that his fascination with his peers and his idols never wavered. This book includes interviews with Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Jon Stewart, Ben Stiller, Jim Carrey, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert. If you have any interest in the golden age of comedy, which I think is like maybe 10-15 years ago, but during this time, I would check out Sick in the Head by Judd Apatow. There you have it. Those are the 4 funny books that I want to recommend to you today. I think if you read it and you find it enjoyable, I think we could be really good friends. If you have any funny books that you really enjoyed that you want to recommend, leave it down in the comments. I would love to check them out. Once again, I'm Elliot Chan. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.